There's the one underneath your seat, I think. No, there isn't. No? Got it. Okay, good.
I'll be back up at the end.
Okay, good. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural Grad Studies Hooding and Recognition Ceremony. This is the first time we've ever done this, and it's just great to see a full house, all these smiling faces here, ready to graduate. So let's get started. I'm Steve Swanson. I'm the Dean of the Pharmacy School, and I'd just like to welcome all the graduates, the family, the friends, alumni, and distinguished guests. It's an honor to participate in an event that celebrates such a major accomplishment for our class of 2024 and their families and loved ones. One of the important things that the pandemic has reminded us is how important it is for us to gather in person. And I'm thrilled that we can celebrate our students' successes and accomplishments with faculty and staff, family and friends as we gather together. It's truly a pleasure to celebrate your achievements with you today. So I'm joined this afternoon by esteemed members of the School of Pharmacy community, faculty and staff members, academic leaders, advisors, instructors, and mentors who will assist in the individual recognition of our capstone program graduates and doctoral and master's degree candidates. Will each individual rise when I introduce you and remain standing until the final name is read? Roger Tung, who's the co-founder of Concert Pharmaceuticals, a member of the School of Pharmacy's Board of Visitors, and our 2024 keynote speaker. Arash Basharullah, Professor and Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education. Olayinka Shianbola, Associate Professor and Director of Graduate Studies in the Health Services Research in Pharmacy Graduate Program. Lara Collier, Associate Professor and Director of Graduate Studies for the Pharmaceutical Sciences Graduate Program. Eric Buxton, Associate Clinical Professor and Chair of the Division of Pharmacy Professional Development and Director of Graduate Studies for the Applied Drug Development Master's Program. Cody Wenther, Associate Professor and Director of the Associate Professor. Well, that's not quite right. Cody will be an Associate Professor in about 1 month, but we're going to give him a little lead time here. Director of Graduate Studies for the Psychoactive Pharmaceutical Investigation Master's Program. Lindy Stoll, Academic Director and of the Professional Graduate Programs. Michelle Chewy, Vilas Distinguished Achievement Professor, Hamel Sanders Distinguished Chair in Pharmacy Administration. Funmi Abraham, Associate Professor. Lucas Rickard, Associate Professor, and George Erdang Chair in the History of Pharmacy. Betty Tuning, Professor. Tim Buney, Professor and Kremers Chair in Natural Products Chemistry and Director of the Small Molecule Screening Facility at the Carbone Cancer Center. Weiping Tang, Vilas Distinguished Achievement Professor, and Janice Appenis Professor of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Director of the Medicinal Chemistry Center at the Carbone Cancer Center. Sung-Kyo Hong, Professor, and Milton J. Hendricks, Chair and Director of the Wisconsin Center for Nanobiosystems. Xiaoying Zhang, Professor. Thank you all for being part of the hooding and recognition ceremony today. We're thrilled to have each of you here to help celebrate our graduates. Please be seated. It's now my honor to introduce the 2024 keynote speaker of our inaugural event, Roger Tung. Roger is the scientific founder, president, and CEO and director of Concert Pharmaceuticals, which applied its deuterium chemistry platform to discover pharmacologically active compounds directed towards immunological, neurological, and genetic diseases. Concert Pharmaceuticals was acquired by Sun Pharmaceuticals last year, and compounds discovered by Concert are currently in phase 3 clinical trials under new drug application review by the Food and Drug Administration for the treatment of autoimmune hair loss, agitation in Alzheimer's disease patients, and cystic fibrosis. Prior to Concert, Roger worked in venture capital-backed startup and major pharmaceutical companies, including Merck and Vertex Pharmaceuticals, in the latter case as a founding scientist and most recently as vice president of drug discovery. Roger co-invented or oversaw the discovery of active pharmaceutical ingredients in 7 drugs approved in the US and abroad for the treatment of cystic fibrosis, hepatitis 3, and HIV infection. Roger is a named inventor in over 100 issued US patents and has authored or co-authored over 100 scientific papers, book chapters, and abstracts. He received a BA in chemistry from Reed College in Portland, Oregon, and a PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry here at UW-Madison, working in the laboratory of Professor Daniel Rich. Roger is a strategic advisor to Longwood Founders Fund, a venture capital firm. He is a recipient of multiple awards in medicinal chemistry and innovation, including the School of Pharmacy's Citation of Merit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our inaugural keynote speaker, Roger Tung. Dr. Tung?
Thank you so much, Dean Swanson, for the kind introduction and for the opportunity to come and present here today. I'd like to start by offering my congratulations to the graduate degree recipients and the master's and PhD graduates of the University of Wisconsin School of Pharmacy. You have a lot to be proud of. And I'd also like to congratulate the people who helped you be here today, all the people who supported you mentally and emotionally and financially and otherwise. So the story that I'm going to tell today is from earlier in my career, but it's one that has shaped a lot of the way that I see the world and hopefully is relevant to your experiences today and in the future. In 2014, a compound that I and many other people had worked hard on getting to clinic and to the market, a hepatitis C drug named telaprevir, was pulled from the market by its sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Before I go further, a short disclaimer. I was at Vertex, as Dean Swanson noted, from 1989, but I left in 2005 to start Concerts, so I was long gone by the time 2014 had rolled around, but I was watching closely. I should also note that I was purely in the drug discovery area, so all of the great development and commercial work that I referred to was that of other people, and certainly not mine. We started the work in hepatitis C in the early 1990s when it was an area of great interest to the biopharma world. It had only been discovered or identified a few years before, but there were known to be about 400,000 individuals in the U.S. With hepatitis C and millions other worldwide. And it was already, even by the late 70s, the leading cause of liver transplants in the U.S. So there was clearly going to be a tidal wave of disease that was coming forward, and it was really highly desirable to get new therapies. It was treated to the extent that it was treated at that time with a combination of oral ribavirin and interferon injections, but it required a full year of treatment, and interferon is notorious for causing flu-like side effects, nausea, fatigue, fevers and chills, and patients didn't want to be sick for a year to maybe get treatment for their virus. So we started and worked with Eli Lilly in a great collaboration, and after a number of years were able to identify the molecule telaprevir. And what we found is that it was a potent enzyme inhibitor and appeared useful in vitro, but it was going to be a bear to develop. It was a very complicated molecule. Dropped out of the relationship, leaving develop it by themselves. And the group in clinical group were able to take it forward and demonstrated that it had strong antiviral properties in humans, but that it was not sufficient. However, a combination of telaprevir with ribavirin in it able to, in 12 weeks, not 12 months, cure about 80% of the individuals taking that combination. So this was a great achievement. So Vertex brought the molecule forward, and in 2011, after about 18 years of research and development, brought it to market, where it was well received. In fact, it treated tens of thousands of patients and became the fastest drug at that time ever to reach $1 billion in annual sales. So commercially, happened. Ones interested in hepatitis C, and Gilead Pharmaceuticals, who had been our competitors in HIV, were, and in 2011, when telaprevir had come to market, they had all their chips in the middle of the table. The reverse transcriptor we were informed by reverse transcriptase inhibitors in very potent. And in fact, Gilead demonstrated that a combination of sofosbuvir, which they purchased with Pharmasset, and ribavirin were able to cure HCV at about the same rate as Vertex's triple combination. They were able to bring it forward to market, and in December 2013, it became commercialized. By October in 2014, it was so successful that Vertex waved a white flag, and shockingly, they withdrew the marketing application and pulled telaprevir off the market. Now, this may have been the end of the company, but happily, quite a while before, in 1999-2000, funding available, we decided to try to expand the technology platform of the company, and we acquired a San Diego company called Aurora Biosciences, which was an assay and engineering company. And I personally was so excited by the science there that I picked up my family from Cambridge, and we moved out to San Diego to start a drug discovery group at the San Diego site. Now, Aurora at that time had a large collaboration with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and we were able to convince the CFF to expand their collaboration to a remarkable case where to work. Started to form the group in 2002. By 2005, we had molecules that were development candidates in mechanisms to try to treat cystic fibrosis. and that turned out to be quite successful in the clinic. So by 2012, 7 years later, which is light speed in drug development, those drugs hit the market and were able to support Vertex when they pulled telaprevir off. This was a great win for therapy, Trikafta, which now treats over 90% of the 2,000 plus mutations associated with cystic fibrosis, which is just fantastic. And it was really a winning situation. Vertex is now an over $100 billion company with a broad base in genetic disease and also in the non-opioid treatment of pain, which is another program that I got involved with early there, and that's very exciting. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, which got royalties on Vertex's drugs, were able to sell those for $3.5 billion, which transformed, benefited, I would argue, the most. There are over 90,000 patients now, over 90% of the known CF population in the world receiving Vertex's drugs. The average age of a CF patient was 37 years when we started working on it. It's over 65 now. So it was quite something. So a couple of quick takeaways from this. First, be careful about the assumptions that you make. We made the assumption that protease inhibition would be the way to beat HCV, and it was true, but it was insufficient in terms to always defend your innovations. We failed to pursue second-generation work. Lilly wasn't funding us, but that, in retrospect, is no excuse. It was too important to the company. The third thing is that even if you make bad mistakes, which frankly we did, innovation can help you, can save you. So the fact that we broadened the platform of the company and went forward in a different direction led to a way for Vertex to be successful and for cystic fibrosis patients to get new drugs. So your situation is far different. You need to be successful going forward. First and foremost, you've got a great education from the University of Wisconsin School of Pharmacy, and that will be important to you now and later. Beyond that, your passion, your open-mindedness, your ability to innovate, and your grit and determination that got you this far, along with that education, I would argue is enough to take you forward. So once again, congratulations. Remember to have fun. Remember to give back, to support people in your lives in the way that you've been supported yourselves. And finally, what I'd like to leave you with is that as healthcare professionals, our highest calling is to protect and support and further the health of the patients who are our ultimate charges. Thank you.
Roger, thank you so much. Hearing that speech and the work that you and your company and your colleagues have done to relieve so much suffering, it's extremely inspiring. And I think it's really, I'm sure everyone in this audience is inspired by that work and those accomplishments. So thank you. So now I invite Arash Basharullah, who's the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education, to the podium to begin the hooding of our graduates. Arash?
Thank you, Dean Swanson. Good morning, everyone. Wow, what a response. This is awesome. I feel like I'm in a classroom. Sorry. So it is my honor to begin the recognition of our Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Science degree candidates. So these are the highest academic degrees awarded and demonstrate completion of the most rigorous and advanced training. The PhD also represents completion of independent research projects that have made significant contributions to the body of knowledge in their respective disciplines. Now, at this time, I invite associate candidates in health services, research, and pharmacy. This program integrates humanities, social, economic, and behavioral sciences to train the next generation of researchers to help address health outcomes and disparities to patients and the communities they live in. I will introduce the graduating students and ask the respective PhD advisors to assist with the hooding. Okay, I will also read the title of the candidate's dissertation work as they approach the front and receive their hoods. Okay. I invite Michelle Chewy to step forward to hood access to injectable naltrexone for formerly incarcerated individuals, advancing the role of community pharmacists in Wisconsin. I invite Olufumilola Abraham to step forward to hood Jenny Lee. Conceptualizing the community pharmacist's role in addressing the youth vape. I invite Luke Rickard to step forward and hood Manly Tid. Evaluating the state of Wisconsin's HIV prevention program, PrEP Navigation, a multi-method study. I invite Betty Tuning to step forward to hood Apurva Reddy. Management. Thank you. I now ask Associate Professor Lara Collier to step forward and assist with the hooding of our Doctor of Philosophy candidates in pharmaceutical sciences. Sitting at the interface between chemistry, biology, and engineering, this program prepares the next generation of scientists to become leaders within academia, government, and industry. I will introduce the graduate students and ask their respective PhD advisors to assist with the hooding. I will also read the title of the candidate's dissertation work. Imran Alas. Computational approaches to natural product drug discovery. I invite Wei-Ping Tang to step forward to hood Chelsea Almodovar Rivera. Development of novel cereblon-based E3. I invite Wei-Ping Tang to remain to hood Christopher Stevens. Development of oligomeric glycopeptides as structurally defined ligands of mannose 6-phosphate receptor and their application in targeted protein degradation. I invite Sumpyo Hong to step forward. Tunable dendritic micelle-based nanocarriers for effective combination therapy. Invite Sumpyo Hong to remain to hood Kyla Javius Jones. Dendritic-based lipid nanoparticles for cancer chemoimmunotherapy. I invite Jiayong Jiang uncovering the mysterious biological function of O-glucanac cycling enzymes. Thank you. So that concludes our PhDs. I now introduce Lindy Stoll, the Academic Director of Professional Graduate Programs, to share more about our programs in applied drug development and psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation and assist with the hooding of these graduates.
Josh. So we're going to start with the Applied Drug Development Program. This program was designed in collaboration with biopharmaceutical industry partners and launched in fall of 2020. It prepares graduates for careers in drug development, manufacturing, and regulatory affairs. I would like to introduce Clinical Professor Eric Buxton, Director of the Master of Science and Graduate Certificate Program in Applied Drug Development, to hood the graduates. I also invite Assistant Professor Cody Winther, Director of the Master of Science and Graduate Certificate Program in Psychoactive Pharmaceutical. All right. I will now introduce the graduating students in Applied Drug Development. Fatima Abdul Rashid. Miriam Ayantola. Akshara Shriyam. Kartik Kumar Vujani. Some of our graduating applied drug development students will complete their degree this academic year, but are not with us in person today. We would like to recognize them at this time. Andrew Davis, Pasquale Lino Masulo, and Ifan Wu. So Eric and Cody will remain, but swap sides. The psychoactive, and the reason for this is the DGS is on the left. So the psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation is focused on preparing students to take on innovative scientific and transdisciplinary roles in the discovery, development, regulation, and clinical application of drugs acting on the central nervous system. As director of the Master of Science and Graduate Certificate Program in Psychoactive Pharmaceutical Investigation, Cody Winther will hood these graduates. Eric Buxton will assist. I will now introduce the graduating students in Psychoactive Pharmaceutical Investigation. Lindsay Aman. Elizabeth Burkhauser. Emily Boussier. Faith Haverty. Mika Hess. James Hosobe. Kendra Lee. Anona Martin. Shay McLean. Roger Moore. Nicholas Oland. Anna Przebelski. Sanchez. Ferris Sawaya. Bianca Schnarr. Jack Smith. John Trevitt. Christina Volpita. Cody Zaleski. Students in psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation who will complete their degree during this academic year, but are remote students. And we can hold applause till the very end. Jody Bellegarde, Benjamin Cyrilnik, Vanessa Dale, Anna Garreau, Kaylee Howell, Noah Klozowski, Elliot Morales, Matthew Nelson, Sonia Sakaski, Gabriel Wurtzler, and Andrew Zolt. This was our biggest graduating class so far. All right, now we will award certificates to those who've completed a graduate certificate in psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation. I would like to congratulate Beverly Fergus for completing the graduate. I would like to congratulate Ashley Robinson for completing the graduate certificate in psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation. Also completing their graduate certificate in psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation, but unable to be here with us today are Heather Jo McComas, Marie Parrish, Isabella Rebick, Nicholas Sims Rose, and that's it for the psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation. Have some certificates. And then also completing their graduate certificate in applied drug development, but unable to be with us, is Maya Jojovic. The success of these master's and certificate students was supported. This is a dedicated group of student experience professionals. So special thanks goes out to Amira Karachik, Ace Hilliard, Chris McIntyre, and Anna Palmer. They make a great contribution to the student experience, and we would not have the program we have today without them. Thank you. Hand it over to Arash now.
Our Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Science degree candidates, as well as our graduate certificate completers. To those here and those unable to join us in person, congratulations on your hard work, remarkable dedication to the pursuit of excellence. You are now joining an elite group of alumni who are leading the way to make the world a better place. Congratulations.
I would like to introduce Heather Spacek to invite her up to the stage. Heather is here. Heather is the president of the school's Pharmacy Alumni Association, as well as a 2018 graduate of our PharmD program here at the school. She will address our graduates as the newest alumni of the School of Pharmacy. Heather?
Thank you, Dean Swanson, and good morning. As Dean Swanson said, my name is Heather Spacek, and I'm the Pharmacy Alumni Association president. As he mentioned, I graduated in 2018, and honestly, it feels like just yesterday. Before I do that, let me congratulate you on this great accomplishment. I can't even pronounce some of the words that were announced earlier, so great job. Thank you for helping advance the field of pharmacy. Upon your graduation and moving to alumni status today, you will automatically become members of the Pharmacy Alumni Association. Some good news, we don't have membership dues ever, so don't have to worry about that. Our mission is to connect alumni, students, and the broader School of Pharmacy community through professional engagement, recognition, social events, and philanthropy. You may have seen some ice cream socials while you were students. We also are collaborating with the School of Pharmacy and hosting events around the state of Wisconsin. So if you don't stay local, there should be other things. Also remote opportunities to get involved. We also have an alumni tailgate at a Badger football game each fall. We recognize alumni through different awards. And there's just plenty of opportunities to get involved, large or small. I would encourage each of you to stay involved, or at the very least, stay connected. Make sure to like the PAA Facebook page, sign up for the Discover RX newsletter, where they'll be able to shout out all the amazing things you're doing in the future. But also remember to stay connected to each other and the School of Pharmacy world. These connections will really last you a long time throughout your career and even beyond. What I do love about UW and what's unique about us is that our alumni are honestly willing to help you at any point in your life. Any connections that you've made along the way, future students you might be able to help mentor and help get them through the program. It's an amazing community to be a part of, and I couldn't be more proud to be part of that. And now, moving forward, you will have the opportunity to do the same for future students and future Badger alumni as well. Again, congratulations on your graduation. I'm looking forward to seeing all the amazing things that you accomplish in your careers, and I'm honored to be the first.
Thank you very much, Heather, and thank you also to the PAA. The Pharmacy Alumni Association is what I refer to them as our secret weapon, because when you look at our webpage, and you can't really get a full sense of how many Badger alums are out there, as Heather said, to really help you find what connections that you need to make to help accelerate your careers. So that's one of the secrets of getting a degree from UW-Madison, is the connections that you have with our sort of pharmacy diaspora. So I guess we should call you a graduate at this point. I'm not sure exactly when the moment is that you graduate. It may have been during the hooding there. She's a Master of Science candidate in Psychoactive Pharmaceutical Investigations. She'll speak on behalf of the Master of Science candidates. Mika was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, but spent her early life growing up all around the world, traveling to 18 different countries. She holds a BS in Cellular Biology and Genetics from the University of Maryland, College Park. She will be continuing her graduate studies here in Madison, pursuing a doctorate in neuroscience training in the neuroscience of psychedelics, with the goal of improving treatment options for those struggling from mental health illness. Mika?
One moment. I have to find. Here we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am honored to be standing here today representing the Masters of Pharmaceutical Sciences, which is our name. Thank you to our families, friends, and faculty who have supported us throughout this journey. Your encouragement, both today and during our course of study, has been foundational to our success. For those of you who know me well, you're aware that my greatest fear in life is public speaking. Yet here I am, inspired by my mentor and encouraged by my peers to face that fear head on.
And you're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. This communal support has profoundly changed my life in ways I would have never expected. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." I grew up in 6 different families, so I was quite literally raised by a village, and each of these new environments added core pieces to my identity. For the last few years, our village has been this vibrant community at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. We've been raised by our professors and our peers with every interaction, challenge, and triumph. And yes, I do still consider each and every one of us to be children, because being a child just means that we haven't let society take away our imagination. That's why I was drawn to the field of psychoactive research. There's still so many questions left unanswered. I mean, how could you? Much like other STEM disciplines, it requires critical thinking, creative solutions, and advocating to make a positive change in the world. As students, we've helped each other maintain our inquisitive nature through discussing our diverse perspectives while exploring new ideas together. We've climbed steep learning curves as a group, supporting one another through the challenges and celebrating each milestone. After all, we shouldn't attempt Mount Everest alone. It was this curiosity that led me to sell everything I owned, get in my car, and drive from DC to Madison, Wisconsin. It all started on May 5th of last year when I was selected for an internship. But the only problem was that this internship started on June 1st at the School of Pharmacy, and I was living in DC. 3 weeks later, I had uprooted my life, my old life, and started anew halfway across the country. This decision, no matter how impulsive, was a defining moment in my life. This opportunity allowed me to learn under the guidance of Dr. Cody Wenther, the director of our program and one of the most influential figures of my academic career thus far. Cody, thank you for taking a chance on me. I've learned so much from you this past year, and my time in your lab has been the inspiration to continue my graduate education. And yes, Dr. Here you go. I'm here. I also want to add thanks to all the PPI faculty and staff, including Almira, Ace, Lindy, and Chris, for supporting us students and making this program what it is. Developing and implementing a brand new program requires courage, commitment, collaboration, and a ton of work. On behalf of the PPI program, we are proud to represent a community that values innovation and excellence in education. Lastly, I want to highlight the care that Dr. Matthew Banks, Dr. Paul Hudson, and Dr. Alberto Vargas have put into building successful students. All of these professors have taken where I feel comfortable sharing my ideas. What I will treasure the most about the environment that UW has fostered is its commitment to inclusivity and its transdisciplinary approach to learning. As students in the Pharmaceutical Sciences program, both PPI and ADD courses are shared that bring together a variety of disciplines, allowing us to all learn from one another. My background in cellular biology and genetics, but I've gained so much knowledge from our diverse classes and peers that have helped me grow into a well-rounded and prepared professional in this space. To truly highlight the diversity of minds within our family, I want to quickly shout out a few students today. A close friend of mine since our first semester has a passion for music theory, and he has taught me so much about how specific sounds and types of music during a psychedelic-assisted therapy session can profoundly change someone's mental status. My other friend Anna and I have had countless midnight conversations brainstorming research ideas, and the way her eyes light up when we talk about neuroimaging is truly inspirational. And last but certainly not least, Liz, an ethnopharmacologist, super cool, has taught me so much about traditional psychoactive botanicals, like the indigenous use of a psychoactive powder that is blown straight up someone's nasal cavity called ethnobotany once said, Progress of future studies will be made only when they are based on the integration of data from sundry fields: anthropology, botany, chemistry, history, medicine, mythology, religion, and so on. It's this blending of disciplines that equips us with a comprehensive understanding and the ability to innovate and excel in various fields. As we all embark down our own paths, we are now prepared to make real progress in our respective fields because of this village that the university has supported. For me, I'm proud to announce that I'll be continuing my education here at UW, pursuing a PhD in neuroscience starting this fall. I am genuinely excited to see not where the future takes us, but where we take the future. I am confident and proud to know that it will be us driving positive change in the world. Thank you all again for being here and contributing to this significant day in our lives.
Well, thank you very much, Mika. That was just a wonderful presentation. I think you've got that public speaking thing down. So now I'd like to invite Jason Klodek, PhD candidate in Health Services Research and Pharmacy, to in Wisconsin. After attending UW-Madison as an undergraduate, he received his Doctor of Pharmacy and Master of Public Health degrees from Concordia University in Wisconsin. He is now graduating with his PhD in Health Services Research and Pharmacy and a doctor minor in law. This summer, Jason will be starting a postdoctoral fellowship at New York University. He will continue to research interventions and programs to improve medication outcomes for individuals with substance abuse disorders, specifically those impacted by the criminal.
Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Jason Klodek, and I'm a PhD graduate in the Health Services Research and Pharmacy program. First, I want to thank everyone who came out today to celebrate the accomplishments of today's graduates. And importantly, I would like to congratulate the graduates on reaching this incredible milestone. You should be very proud of how far you've come and what you've achieved. I realize many of you don't know me, so I wanted to share a little bit about myself, specifically my journey to graduate school. I started at UW as an undergraduate, not really sure of the direction. Through a lot of exploring and shadowing and reflecting, my interest eventually landed on pharmacy, and I made the decision to pursue my PharmD degree. In pharmacy school, I hit the ground running toward the goal of obtaining a residency and becoming a clinical pharmacist. Little did I know that would not be the case. To gain additional experience and admittedly beef up my CV, I joined a research lab towards the end of my second year. Not only did this help me discover my interest in the intersection of pharmacy and public health, but that's when it clicked. I wanted to do research. There's no question about the value of the patient-level care that practicing pharmacists can provide. Coming back to UW for graduate school reinforced this decision. I knew I was where I was meant to be, and so I was excited to be immersed in opportunities to learn about and conduct research. But that's not to say there weren't challenges along the way. Challenges that I'm sure many of today's graduates have shared. From realizing your research question was far too ambitious, to staring at a computer screen, having zero idea why your code is giving you an error message. From late nights trying to finish manuscript edits so you can meet the journal's 1-week deadline, to the overwhelming feeling of imposter. It wasn't always an easy road, but being here today, we can look back at these challenges and realize what we are capable of overcoming. We made it here by remaining flexible, thinking on our feet, letting go of ideas, even if those were good ideas, and not being afraid to ask for help. Most importantly, we are here today because of determination and not letting those challenges overcome us. Each of these qualities can be carried with us no matter what direction we take. I want to make sure to acknowledge the main thing that got me through these challenges, though: people. Without the support of my family, advisor, formal and informal mentors, and a support system over the last several years, but the highlight of my time has been the opportunity to collaborate and learn from them. It has been inspiring to see the work of students across the translational research spectrum, from basic science and preclinical work to focusing on population-level outcomes. It's especially inspiring to know that although we may come from different backgrounds or have different interests, or conduct different types of research, we have all worked towards advancing science and making the world a better place. I'm thankful for this opportunity to share my experience and appreciation with all of you, but most importantly, I hope there's a few lessons you can take where you need to be and help you push through when it feels like everything is working against you. Second, the path in front of you may end up having many twists and turns, no matter how much you try to plan or prepare. Life can be unpredictable, and it's never too late to pivot and make a change. Third, keep an open mind and say yes to opportunities that come your way. You never know where they may take you. And finally, remember to live in the moment. I myself am guilty of spending a lot of time thinking about the future and my long-term goals. Having goals is important, but it's just as important to be thankful for what you have now and recognize that you are where you are. That diversity, both in who we are and what we do, is essential. In this room alone, we have graduates from different backgrounds solving problems across the research spectrum. Every part of that spectrum is crucial, and it takes all of us working together and collaborating to make the biggest impact. Remember that each of you brings something unique to the table. That's why you're here in the first place. And that personal growth can come from learning from those around you, especially those with different experiences and perspectives. As Badgers, we are taught the Wisconsin idea, that the work we do should influence people's lives beyond the boundaries of our university. Has the potential to use your experiences, skills, and knowledge to make a positive and long-standing difference in the world, to address the world's emerging problems and improve the lives of people far beyond the walls of UW-Madison. I want to leave you with a simple quote from Michelle Obama that has been an inspiration along my educational journey. The only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them. Congratulations, class of 2024. This is just the beginning for us.
Us walking up to the Pyle Center here across campus, and the idea of living in the moment. Today is one of those moments that we should really treasure. It's just, it's a special moment in our lives, all of our lives. So let's make sure that we appreciate it. So this concludes the main speaking portion of the ceremony, and I'd like to give a final thanks to those who organized today's events. Ace Hilliard, Lindy Stoll, Anna Reinhardt, Lindsay Weigel, Zoe Andrews, Jasmine Loving, Chris McIntyre, and many other volunteers that you see around us today. We're living in the moment, and they're helping us have a great moment, so thank you very much. So everybody's invited to a reception immediately following the ceremony, right here in the courtyard, and also here on the main level. Food is in the lower level, so that's another thing that's a note added at the very end, a really key note that was handwritten in here. Thank you for that. So please meet in the courtyard to take a photo after this event. We're excited to announce that Bucky and members of the UW Marching Band will be here during the reception. So you'll know them. You'll just be able to desserts and one another as you celebrate this momentous occasion. So guests, please remain seated while the graduates recess out of the hall. And members of the 2024 class, congratulations.